A very hearty welcome from KSOGA to all of you, respected dignitaries who have joined today, dear delegates, all aspiring to learn about midwife care, and we heartily welcome you. At the outset, let me say Paripurna Swatantrata Cha Navajivana Asmi, and that is complete independent. I am renewed life because I am a midlife woman. And with that in mind, our president, Dr. Rajeshri, um, has Dr. Rajeshri Paladi, who has been sworn in very recently as the president of this KASOGA, a state body of 24 OB-GYN societies. And this was her thought that we must have a dedicated niche area, a platform for discussions exclusively on the care for this vulnerable stage of life, and that is the midlife women. So over to Dr. Rajeshri Paladi to launch the webinar formally and also to address the gap. Over to you, Rajeshri.
My pranams to everybody assembled here. On our request, we have all the dignitaries here present for the launch of our program ASMI. Respected Chief Patron M.G. Hiremat sir, respected H. Nagaraj sir, respected executive members of KASOGA, the past, present, and the future, and guests of honor, Dr. Meeta. Do I see her here? Dr. Meeta, an old friend, very old friend, good friend, and she's been the past president of IMS. Dr. Anita, the immediate past president. Speakers of today's evening, and the president of IMS, Dr. Sudha Sharma, who has graciously accepted our invitation to be here today and to share her information and knowledge about the topic that we have chosen today. The chairpersons, Dr. Hepsiala, the treasurer of IMS, Dr. Shubha Ramarao, the president of Bangalore Menopause Society, moderators, our dear Dr. Shobha N. Gudi, the Secretary General of KASOGA, and co-moderator Dr. Sanjana Patil Talur, the EC member of North Zone KASOGA. We have our experts, Dr. Jyoti Jaiswal, the Secretary General of IMS, Dr. Shubha Setia, the Joint Secretary of IMS, Dr. Archana Dwivedi, the Chairperson of the Midlife Committee of FOXY, and Dr. Padmaja, a dear friend, who is the Chairperson of the Rural Committee of IMS, and Dr. Uma Devi K, the Treasurer-elect of BMS. So we have the who's who of IMS, and what better platform than this, and what better galaxy of speakers that we have here, and the presence of important dignitaries who can make the importance of ASMI present and to be told to the world that why it is necessary to know about ASMI. We know that we have to create awareness, we have to teach the symptom management, we have to teach the menopausal hormone therapy and non-menopausal hormone therapies, look after the mental, emotional, and social well-being of the persons, and have an integrative and individualized care with non-pharmacotherapies and lifestyle modifications. So with this intention in mind, the term ASMI has been created because me, for myself, is what is needed in this phase of life, because only I have to take care of myself in this phase of life. And this is why we coined term ASMI. The other two projects that we have are called Tarunya and Matrutva. Tarunya dealing with the adolescent health, and Matrutva dealing with the postnatal care of the mother, the minute she becomes a mother, a woman who becomes a mother after childbirth. So with these three concepts in mind, these are the mainstays of our programs, scientific endeavors that we have planned for. And with this in mind, Dr. Shobha Gudi, who has been a very active member in the IMS, she came forward and took forth this program and proposed that we will start with ASMI with a webinar and a Zoom platform. And such beautiful topics, such beautiful people. I think 1/3 of the life being spent in this age group, and we being responsible for what we need to do ourselves with the empty nest in most of the homes. This is the time we really need to relive our lives and define our roles and responsibilities so very well, and also face the challenges that we come up new in this phase in all aspects of health that we call maybe physical, social, mental, emotional, and most importantly, the spiritual aspects of life. So to encompass all aspects of health, I'm sure we have very many range of topics to deal with. And to start with, we have few, and I'm very glad, very happy, and I welcome you all to KASOGA to participate and disseminate this energy in such high intention, focused manner. And I'm sure we are going to have a very good deliberation in the next 2 hours. And it is only to bring importance. A lot has been done about perinatology, a lot has been studied about the obstetric complications, a lot has been discussed even at the national level in the policy manners, that all the policies are directed towards the age group of the reproductive age. Very few think of what happens to the woman once she has crossed 45 or 50. And here we are dealing with ourselves. So welcome to ASMI, and let us all have a very good start and a very good beginning. And thank you all for accepting our invitation. Over to you, Dr. Shobha.
Thank you so much, Rajeshri, for putting it forward for the concept of ASMI. And we shall go now towards introducing the chief guest. But before that, since the slide was not projected at that time, I would just take this opportunity to say a few words about you, Rajeshri. So please, can you share the slide deck, please, Mr. Arun? We shall begin with Dr. Rajeshri. Yes, please, Arun.
Madam, see,
I think
Okay. Okay, then you gather it. Okay. Then
no, that's
let me
okay.
have
Most of them know me, and I think people of KSOGA also know me very well. It's fine.
the
Just start
CV
with the
you must be
program.
having, Arun. No, you
yes,
collect it
madam, I
now.
have.
You have it. Please,
Yes.
please. Yes. Yeah. No, he's
Dr.
very
Shobha,
quick.
please move ahead. It's all right.
I will move ahead. I will. It will hardly take a minute or so because I think everybody deserves to know that though Rajeshri is a few years younger to me, I really take pride in working with her as secretary. And I must say that I have just now completed a very vibrant year with Dr. Durgadas as secretary. So I have served as secretary to both of them. And this is the beginning of Rajeshri's year. Can I have the slide, please? Arun? Um, yes, so we have past presidents of KSOGA also joining in. Dr. Kasturi, welcome. I can see Dr. Meeta now. Welcome to Dr. Meeta. Thank you so much for being here. Dr. Hesiba also.
Yeah.
Dr. Padmaja. Dr. Kasturi Donimat.
Be a part of it. Yeah, very happy to be part of it.
Thank you. Dr. Uma Devi K.
Hello, Dr.
Arun,
Kasturi.
is there a problem?
Namaste.
Arun?
Hello, Rajshri. Yeah, I'm
Hello,
very
ma'am.
happy to join your first program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
being here.
Thank you for being around. Yeah.
Arun?
Arun, shall we move to the next program, please?
Yeah, so can we have the CV of the chief guest, Dr. Sudha Sharma, please, the president of IMS for this year? Can you please share the slide deck, Arun? Oh, thank God. Yes. So here I bring to you the sophisticated, ever smiling, and very gentle demeanor, a very, very unique president of Indian Menopause Society, Dr. Sudha Sharma. She is the president of IMS for 26-27, and she took over at Bhopal in the month of February. She has also served as vice president, secretary general, and as a managing committee member of PCOS as well. Editor in chief, I must say that she has very high editorial skills, and we are all witness to the fact that time and again she has come forward and done the editorial work for so many updates in menopausal worlds. She is a member of World Association of
Thank you,
Yes,
Dr. Shobha.
yeah, yeah.
That's enough.
She's a faculty member of. I'm not able to see the whole slide. I'm so sorry. I would
It's
like to
okay.
say this. I would like to say this. Faculty member consensus document on menopause and osteoporosis of International Menopause Society, and president, of course, of Jammu OBG Society in 2018 and 20. So we welcome you. You have 90 publications, edited 11 books, and wrote so many chapters. Welcome, Dr. Sudha. And please, we look forward to your address as a chief guest. So can you please
See,
stop sharing?
thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shobha, for that kind introduction and for those, lovely emotional words. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Rajeshri. So, a very good evening, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure and pride to be a part of this academic event organized by KSOGA. I never knew that KSOGA is such a vibrant and strong society with more than 3,500 members, correct me if I am wrong, and 24 societies. That provides a platform dedicated to learning, collaboration, innovation in research. Heartiest congratulations, President KSOGA 2627, Dr. Rajeshri Paladi, for launching ASMI, a project conceptualized for enhancement of care for midlife women. Because now we all know that with increasing expectancy, a female is spending more than one third of life in this phase. It's not now one third, it's more than this. It's now close to half of life, sometimes during this phase. And we have witnessed many people, like our legend vocalist Asha ji has left for heavenly abode at the age of 92 and a half. I'm sure she must have spent half of her life during this phase. So there is a growing need to understand her needs, her problems, her challenges, her symptoms, so that we can provide her with every kind of support to make our Indian menopause slogan given by Dr. Meeta a true one: fit at 40, strong at 60, and independent at 80. So my namaskar to all the office bearers of KSOGA, Dr. MG, Dr. Nagaraj, Dr. Durgadas, Dr. Suman, Dr. Shobha and Dr. Shobha, our own Dr. Meeta, Dr. Anita, all the chairpersons, moderators, and expert panelists. Thanks, Dr. Rajshiri and Dr. Shobha Guddi, for inviting me, making me a part of your wonderful academic event. I really wish all the best and a huge success for this learning webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sudha. Thank you so much. I now have the privilege of inviting two eminent guests of honor. Before that, let me bring home the few facts about our president, Dr. Rajeshri Paladi. I have known her as a very assiduous, very intense, very sincere academician and a clinician. And she has been president-elect of KSOGA last year, and before that, she has served as honorary secretary for 2 years with Dr. Vidya Tobi and Dr. Bharti Rajshekhar. She was before that the chair of Fetal Medicine and Genetics Committee. Has her own hospital, the Aditya Multi-Speciality Hospital at Kalburgi, a state-of-the-art facility which I have personally witnessed, and she has recently enhanced it also. Of course, she has won medals in her academic career, and the significant achievement is representing India, Rotary International, from India to Australia as a Rotary member in the GSC team. She has also conducted a very wonderful conference, 25th KSOGA State Conference at Gulbarga, in the year 2014. We were all part of it, and it was fantastic. So that was your president, Dr. Rajeshri. I shall now request Arun to display the introduction for our guests of honor today, Dr. Meeta and Dr. Anita Shah in tandem. So, a lovely person, Dr. Meeta, a real go-to person for anyone with academic query in IMS, and also a very astute academician. She has Tanveer Hospital as at the core of her work at Hyderabad. She is a specialist in menopause and osteoporosis, and of course, she is an obstetrician also. Especially, she has her strength in postmenopausal osteoporosis, founder chair for the Indian Menopause Society Registry of 10 years from 21 to 31, a very robust work which is going on, and one of its kind, I think. No one has dared to make a registry like she has done. I think it is a global thing, and we look forward to the completion of her work. I'm sure she can have an interim report also to give her some time. What to say about awards? She's been very richly awarded. She is an editor of Journal of Midlife Health as well. And one thing is the acronym CPG is synonymous with Meeta in IMS. CPG is the Clinical Practice Guidelines, and she was the architect of the first guideline and the second guideline again. And the latest one will be released, and we hope that it will come to every member of KSOGA. She is founder chair research committee IMS and founder patron Hyderabad Menopause Society, of course, her hometown. Let me take the liberty of introducing Dr. Anita Shah also, and then we shall take the messages one by one. Dr. Anita Shah also has completed her tenure as president of Indian Menopause Society just now, just like our Dr. Durgadas has completed his in KSOGA. So, Madam gave up her presidency to Sudha very recently at Bhopal. And her work in SOGOG, the State Association of Gujarat, is very, very significant. She was the organizing chairperson of World Conference on Population Stabilization in February 2003. She was the president of Surat OB-GYN in 2000 and 2001. And those of you who are attending the AICOG now in 2027, look out for Dr. Anita because she is one of the organizers, key organizers there. Of course, she was responsible for the founding the chapter of Surat Menopause Society. Her hometown is Surat, of course, and she has participated as faculty everywhere. But what I have
It's okay.
known about Anita is what award she has received is very apt. Nari to Narayani, and that is what is Anita, a person whom everybody has liked, very endearing, very humble, and very generous. Magnanimity, thy name is Anita, is what we used to tell last year. So, welcome, Anita, to KSOGA. Arun, you
Thanks very
stop
much.
sharing and we'll take messages one by one. I welcome Dr. Meeta to give her address as guest of honor, please.
Very good evening, everybody. Thank you, Shobha, for this beautiful, kind, well articulated, description of Anita, Sudha,
Nothing.
and of course, I thank you for myself as well. But very, very well articulated. I'm sure all of us are feeling very happy about it. And
You are,
hello,
it's
Rajeshri.
true.
Rajeshri and I know each other since years. And it's wonderful to see the good work that is going on in Karnataka. And of course, congratulations, Doctor, for finishing a very good tenure. And it's a great pleasure to be here on this platform of, the main concentration being the reproductive health and the adolescent health. And as earlier on, the attention even during our post graduation used to always be only on these topics. So urogynecology, at least there was some chapter we would shun it, just keep it aside whenever we have the time to go through it. And menopause was never talked about at all. Hormone therapy furthest away. So I think these were all newer areas when we finished our post graduation. And right today it is very different because the US, the big brother, has actually removed that FDA box warning. And I hear now in US it's a complete about turn from what it was post WHI. There are no longer patches available for use. So the women are, hunting to get those transdermal patches, and that's the state of affairs within 2 months of the announcement from the US FDA. So there is a worry, which I think we are poised to look after the midlife health. We have enough of material. We have the demographics. We have the educational material. I think the Menopause Society, over a period of years, has put everything in place. What we need is implementation, nothing new. It's a small thing. What we need is implementation of the work that is done. But the fear today is mismanagement. So, an overkill of the hormone therapy should not happen. It has to be individualized, it has to be given only and only when necessary. Because menopause, like Dr. Rama always says, and I always quote it, it is not hormones at all. It is beyond hormones. Hormones are important, therapy is important, but not for everyone. What we need is the emotional, the social, the looking after so many other aspects of menopausal health. Prevention of disease has to be a primary, right from your pap smears and HPVs and everything included. So I wish you a great success, the entire team, Rajeshri, that you have taken up this part of the midlife health along with the busy work that you have in the obstetrics. So best wishes from my side. And I
Thank you.
know Sudha, I look forward for Sudha's talk and the other panelists, all of them, best wishes to all of them. And I'm sure the IMS family will do fantastic on this
Yes,
platform. Best
yes.
wishes to all of them.
Meeta, you continue to inspire me like you did during your post-graduation days. I was the undergraduate when you were studying PG here. I've seen
Yes.
you as vibrant then as I see you now, and I'm so fortunate to be associated with you for more than 3 decades now.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely, Raji.
Yeah.
Right.
Anita ji,
Yeah, yeah,
thank
yeah,
you, Meeta. That was lovely, Meeta.
yeah, yeah.
That was
Yeah,
Anita
very
ji.
good afternoon to all of you. First of all, my heartiest congratulations to dear Dr. Rajeshri for being the president of KSOGA. And I'm sure that under your leadership, the association will work like anything and you will rock at national and international level. Thank you very much for personally calling me and just inviting me. Shobha is a good friend since years together. And thanks, Shobha Gudi, for inviting me over, being a part of this very, very unique type of webinar. Sudha and Meeta have very rightly told everything. So I'm not going to repeat it. But we know that today midlife health is very, very important. Our slogan of Indian Menopause Society, you all of must be aware. Those who are not members of IMS, they for them, let me say that our slogan is fit at 40, strong at 60, and independent at 80. Our main goal is that only that midlife woman should remain healthy and happy till the in the later part of her life. And for that, we are doing a lot of work, and we always want to reach to the grassroots level along with our Club 35 Plus, which we are doing, with which we are doing a lot of activities. And that's why we want that each and every midlife woman can remain healthy. We have elaborated the slogan also. Rajeshri, perhaps you might have heard, fit at 40, fancy at 50, strong at 60, sexy at 70, independent at 80, naughty at 90, and healthy at 100. We want
That's
that
so
each and every
inspiring.
midlife woman should remain like that. And for that, prevention is always better than cure. We are doing a lot of webinars and lot of discussion regarding preventive aspects also. Meeta rightly told that we are also caring for cervical cancer, pap test and everything. And for that, we are doing pap test, LBC pap test
Sanjana.
with HPV DNA testing with a very minimum rate with collaboration
No,
of
Sanjana.
Metropolis, that is only 1,000 rupees. So this is one of the very efficient work the IMS is doing. And I am sure that under your leadership, you will also work so nicely
Sanjana.
and you will definitely
Thank you,
ಅದೇ
Anita.
ಎಲ್ಲ
Thank
ಎಲ್ಲ
you.
ಗೊತ್ತು
lot of
ನನಗೆ.
You have
work.
you have given new definitions from 40 onwards. And I think that
Yeah,
will remain the goal for each decade of life now.
yes, yes.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being here and giving
Yeah.
those golden sentences for each decade of life. Thank you. Dr. Shobha, can we
Yeah,
take
I'm here because Anita is always the one to connect to the community. Because, Meeta will take us into the annals of the library of CPG and the material and the literature and everything. But Meeta rightly said that implementation now is the next challenge, and that is what Anita is trying to say. That yes, now we have to connect all that knowledge we have to the recipient there in the field, and that is what excellent um, I'm so sorry. Addresses by all three of you. I now request Dr. Durgadas to say a few words before we open the site session.
Good evening, everybody. At the outset, congratulations, Dr. Rajeshi. Your three concepts are excellent. The one concept is getting open today, and one of the, as you have rightly told, this is hardly we have learned in our PG days, and this is the need of the hour. Like more than one third of the life is spent in the postmenopausal age, and we have a galaxy of speakers. I invite all of you to the folds of KSOGA. We are all eager to hear you. All the best once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I asked Dr. Sanjana Tallu, who is co-convener with me for this program and for the project ASMI, to introduce the chairpersons, Dr. Hepzibah and Dr. Shubha Ramarao. So, yes. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I welcome Dr. Professor N. Hepzibah Kirubhama Mani.
Hepzibah.
Hepzibah. She's an past president of Obstetric Society of Southern India. Ma'am is a Chennai Menopause Society president, past Chennai Menopause Society president, and past IMS chairperson for Education Committee. She is a joint treasurer for IMS 24-25. Ma'am is a treasurer for 26-27 IMS. She is a council of SAF MOS Council Member 2026. Ma'am has received 2 consequent year Best Society Award during CMS President tenure 21 and 23. She has Ma'am has done 4 clinical trials and a research member secretary for Savita University. Ma'am has presented and published 113 papers in indexed journals and reviews, and she has reviewed the IJST and JMH articles, journals. She was a PhD guide for SRMC, Savita SRM, trained in robotic surgery. Ma'am given oration at OGSI.
Yeah, Hepzibah, welcome, Hepzibah. So
Ma'am, we
wonderful
welcome
to
you
have
for
you.
today's program.
Yeah.
So the next chairperson is Dr. Shubha Ramarao, President BMS 2426, former Syrian consultant and head of department at St. Martha's Hospital. Ma'am was the president of PSOG 2324, visiting consultant at Cloud9 Hospital, Malleshwaram. Ma'am is a DNB teacher, guide and examiner, faculty at national and international conference. Her interests are in high-risk pregnancy, vaginal surgeries and preventive oncology. I welcome you, ma'am. Shubha, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sanjana. Now, I request Dr. Hepzibah and Dr. Shubha to take this scientific session forward. Dr. Sudha has been formally introduced, so each one of you can say an opening remark, and we'll ask Dr. Sudha to present.
Yeah. And at the outset, I thank the KSOGA for inviting me to be part of this wonderful program, ASMI, and congratulations to Rashri and Shobna. And thanks for the invitation. And I'm really excited to listen to our own Sudha madam, who is going to talk about rediscovering self during perimenopause and menopause. I'm sure we'll be learning a lot of new things from her talk. And she's such a wonderful person, and she's a lot of academic activities and public awareness program and so many things. She was an editor for so many things. When you name some journal, she will be either an editor or associated with so many journals. Over to you, Dr. Sudha. We are eager to listen to you.
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
may add, yes,
Shubha
I don't
says
want to
something.
repeat all that has been told about Dr. Sudha, but one thing I'm really impressed about is the wellness programs on Sunday, which I thoroughly enjoy. Of course, started with Dr. Anita last year, and it is such a holistic approach to midlife. It is very, very important that I urge everyone to join the Sunday program and take benefit from it. Thank you, Dr. Sudha, Dr. Anita, for giving us, the platform to improve our health holistically, of course.
And I request
Thank
to
you.
share the link in the Karnataka group so that we can, distribute it to all and share the
Yes,
link.
yes.
We will do
Yes,
that.
Yes, we'll do
certainly.
that.
I think you can share the link.
Yes.
Yes, we should.
Okay,
We shall
Shubha.
do that, Sudha. We shall do
Over
that.
to you, Dr. Sudha. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
over
so
to
thank you, Dr. Hepzibah and Dr. Shubha for those Shobha Rama for those kind words. So I'll share my screen. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it is seamless.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, it's in.
Uh, so thank you, Shubha, for giving me this uh, topic, which is the theme of my year also. Rediscover yourself before and around menopause. So it's a new beginning, not an ending. Menopause is often misunderstood as a phase of decline, but in reality, it's a powerful transition. It marks the closing of the reproductive phase and the opening of a new chapter of self awareness, freedom, and personal growth. The years before and around menopause, they bring hormonal, physical, emotional, and social changes. While symptoms could be challenging, this phase also offers a rare opportunity to pause, reflect, and rediscover yourself. Why rediscovering yourself matters? For decades, many women prioritize family, career, and caregiving roles. Menopause becomes a turning point where the question arises: who am I beyond my roles? Self discovery during this period means reconnecting with your identity, reclaiming personal time, redefining purpose and priorities, building emotional resilience. This is not about coping, it's about thriving. Why do I feel like I'm not myself anymore in this phase? Have you found yourself thinking, I don't recognize who I am anymore? This sense of losing yourself can feel unsettling. You may look the same on the outside, but inside, everything feels different. Your energy, your stress, tolerance, motivation, confidence, even the way you respond to situations that once felt effortless. Because no one prepared you for this, it's easy to assume the worst, that you are somehow failing, falling behind, or becoming someone you do not want to be. So let me say this clearly. Nothing about this change is a personal failing. You are responding to a real biological and psychological shift that affects how you feel, how you think and function. And there are ways to anchor yourself again. Why this feels so personal? The identity shift of midlife. Many women describe a sudden and unexpected distance between who they have always been and who they feel like now. They say things like, I used to bounce back quickly. Now everything takes more out of me. My brain feels like it's running at half speed. I am not as patient as I used to be. My motivation has evaporated. I don't feel in control of my emotions. This isn't vanity or self criticism, it's an identity question. Because for years you have built your sense of self around being the capable one, the reliable one who remembers everything, organizes everything, absorbs and handles everything. Because this isn't just about the symptoms, it touches how you think, how you feel, how you show up, and how you see yourself. So, of course, it feels bigger than just the hormones. It's an identity shift. For many women, this is the moment they quietly wonder, will I ever feel like myself again? The ripple effect, how menopause touches every corner of your life and creates a perfect storm of changes. Physical symptoms that demand attention, hot flashes and night sweats leave you feeling that you are burning from the inside out. Sleep disruption that makes every day feel like you are functioning on empty. Weight gain that seems to appear overnight, especially around your midsection. Joint aches and stiffness that make you feel older than your years. Vaginal dryness that affects intimacy, comfort, and brain fog that makes you question your competence and memory. Emotional turbulence, cognitive shift, mood swings that surprise you with their intensity, anxiety, depression, irritability that strains your closest relationship, a sense of loss for the women you used to be, cognitive changes, poor concentration, word finding difficulty, and mental fatigue. Relationship challenges. Your partner might not understand why you are suddenly so different. Children might be confused by your emotional volatility. Your friends might drift away, unsure how to support you. The isolation can feel overwhelming, adding another layer of grief to an already complex experience. So, what's happening in the brain and body? As emotions are central to everyday function and well being, it's important to understand how menopause affects the experience and regulation of emotions. Research indicates that effective emotional regulation relies on prefrontal cortex. So, both the ventromedial prefrontal cortex and adjacent anterior cingulated cortex play important roles in controlling one's own emotions. Aging and menopause affect dorsal and lateral PFC more than ventromedial PFC. So, this can show up as disrupted sleep, increased stress reactivity, reduced tolerance for multitasking, feeling emotionally quicker to react, dips in processing speed, changes in motivation reward pathways, resilience to overwhelm. However, these changes are not permanent. The brain is highly adaptable. Your routines, habits, environment, boundaries, and support all influence how you experience this transition. And while medical care may be a part of the picture for some women, behavior and lifestyle choices also significantly affect how grounded, energized, and clear headed you feel. The hidden weight midlife women carry. Beyond biology, midlife brings an invisible emotional load that rarely gets spoken about because we women often carry the majority of household administration, mental load, emotional labor, caregiving for children, teens, or adults, navigating relationship shifts, career stagnation, or ageism, financial pressure, grief for parents, partners, or identity itself. Why motivation feels different and why that's normal. I used to be so disciplined. What happened? Here is the truth. Your motivation hasn't disappeared, it's being pulled in too many directions. So, midlife often exposes years of over functioning that we have been doing, saying yes to everything, caring too much, ignoring needs, skipping rest, or prioritizing others over yourself. So, when hormones shift, sleep dips, stress load climbs, brain prioritizes energy conservation. This is protective, not passive. You are not lazy. You are not unfocused. You are not letting yourself go. But you are tired. You are stretched. You are overdue for support. And you are absolutely capable of rebuilding habits and identity from this point with the right scaffolding. And let's see how. Reconnect with your current capacity, not your past self. One of the most compassionate things you can do is stop measuring yourself against a previous version of you. The one who could juggle everything, sprint through days, and recover instantly. Your current capacity isn't a downgrade, it's data. Take a moment each morning to ask what feels possible today? What feels supportive? Where do I need softness, not speed? When women start working with their real capacity instead of their expected capacity, everything changes their energy, their confidence. Anchor yourself with one non negotiable habit. Identity comes from repeated aligned action, not big actions, but the consistent ones. So choose one small, repeatable identity affirming habit you do daily, which might be a 10-minute morning walk, breakfast with a lot of proteins, 2 minutes of paced breathing before bed, journaling, one line about how you feel, screen free wind down, and a hydration routine. The habit is less important than the message it delivers. I support myself. I keep promises to myself. I am rebuilding on purpose. This is where identity starts to reroute. Redraw your boundaries with a midlife lens. Midlife demands new boundaries not because you are less capable, but because your needs have evolved. Try asking, what drains me that did not drain me before? Why am I saying yes to that no longer aligns with the season I am in? where I can choose ease over obligation. So when women often rediscover themselves the moment they stop overperforming in roles they have outgrown. You haven't lost yourself, you are updating yourself. It's a transition, not a disappearance. The version of you that feels grounded, steady, purposeful, joyful, and clear. You are still there. You are waiting for space, support, and a permission slip to re emerge. You do not need to navigate this alone, and you certainly don't need to push through or just get on with it. You are allowed to pause, you are allowed to reassess, and you are allowed to rebuild with intentions. What most women do not realize, you are not trying to go back to who you were. You are learning how to support the version of you that exists now with different needs, different capacity, and a different way of moving through the world. And when you start doing that, something shifts. Things begin to feel steadier, clearer, more manageable. Not because life has changed overnight, but because you are no longer working against yourself. The power of lifestyle sport, your roadmap from chaos to clarity. The medical community is finally recognizing that women have known for centuries that it's not a disease to be cured, but a natural transition to be supported. While HRT could be helpful for some, lifestyle support offers a holistic approach that addresses not just your symptoms, but your whole being. Nutrition as your foundation. Your relationship with food during menopause isn't just about the calories, it's about nourishing your body through profound change. The right nutritional support can help stabilize your mood, maintain your energy, and support your changing metabolism. So you can add these kind of nutrients along with a lot of fiber and proteins, less fat, less carbohydrates, phytoestrogens, calcium, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins and magnesium that would give benefit to help balance declining estrogen levels, protect your bone density, reduce inflammation, support mood, support energy, nervous system, improve sleep, and reduce anxiety. Movement that heals. Exercise during menopause isn't about punishment or trying to maintain your 20-year-old body. It's about moving in ways that honor where you are now and support your changing needs. Strength training, as estrogen declines, your you lose muscle mass and bone density. So lifting weight isn't just about looking strong. It's about staying strong for all the years ahead. Yoga and stretching practices do not just improve flexibility, they offer a sanctuary for your stressed nervous system and help you reconnect with your body in gentle, loving ways. Cardiovascular exercises, whether dancing, swimming, or brisk walking, cardio exercises help manage weight, improve mood, support heart health, increasingly important because estrogen protective effect has already diminished. So these are the kind of exercises, weight bearing, aerobic, resistance, balance training, but they should be done under the guidance of some instructor, not otherwise. Sleep, your non-negotiable foundation. Sleep disturbances during menopause aren't just inconvenient, they are a threat to your physical and mental health. Poor sleep compounds every other symptom, making hot flashes more intense, mood swings more dramatic, and brain fog more frustrating. Creating a sleep sanctuary becomes an act of self care. So keep your bedroom cool and dark, establish a calming bedtime routine, limit screen time before bed, consider natural sleep aids like green tea or melatonin. Stress management, breaking the cycle. Stress and menopause create a vicious cycle. Symptoms increase stress and stress worsens symptoms. So breaking this cycle requires intentional stress management practices that become as essential as taking vitamins. So mindfulness and meditation. Even 5 minutes of daily meditation can help regulate your nervous system and improve your response to stress. Deep breathing exercises. can be particularly helpful during hard flashes, helping you stay calm and centered during uncomfortable moments. Adopt journaling. It's a way for you to get in touch with yourself as you navigate your everyday life. It's a way for you to release emotions, be grateful, ponder life. Journaling is a place to process your thoughts and tap into your inner wisdom. So, what is the importance of journaling? It helps you become more self aware and helps you heal from the past. Devote exclusive time for it. A time in a day for journaling that works best for you. So, what do you appreciate more about yourself? Just think about that. Few flaws that you would like to change about yourself. If you could go back in time to your younger self, I don't know why these lines are coming in my on my screen. Can
It's okay.
somebody
It's
help me
not
with?
disturbing the text. Don't worry.
Okay, okay. So if you could go back in time to your younger self, what is the best piece of advice you could give to yourself? Remember the compliments you received. How did you receive it and how did it make you feel? What is your fondest memory from adulthood? Start small, be consistent, and combine it with mindfulness. Creative outlets, whether it's a painting, gardening, cooking, writing, crafting, all creative activities provide emotional release, help process the complex feelings that arise during this transition. Sharing with all of you the gardening, my small garden during day and during night view. Building your support network. You don't have to do this alone. One of the most transformative aspects of lifestyle support is recognizing that you don't have to navigate this journey in isolation. So, building a strong support network becomes crucial for your emotional well being and practical success. So, professional support team could be in the form of healthcare providers who understand menopause and take your concerns seriously, nutritionists who can help you develop an eating plan that supports your changing needs, therapists who specialize in women's health and life transitions, fitness professionals who understand the unique needs of menopausal women. So, the role of self care in rediscovery during menopause is not a luxury, my friends. It is essential. So, the core pillars would include your physical care, balanced nutrition, regular exercise, adequate hydration, mental care, stress management, therapy or counseling, positive mindset, emotional care, self compassion, accepting body changes, letting go of perfectionism, personal time, hobbies and creativity, travel or leisure, quiet reflection. Taking time for yourself helps restore balance and improve overall well being. So, practical daily framework, simple rediscovering routines would be morning, gentle movement, yoga or walk, healthy breakfast, protein with fibers, afternoon, productive work with breaks, social interaction or connection, evening, light activity or relaxation, digital detox before sleep, night, consistent sleep schedule. So, even small, consistent habits can create lasting transformation. So, embrace this phase, embrace the new you. Menopause is not the end of you, it is the beginning of authentic living. It's a time to slow down and reflect, heal and grow, reclaim your identity, live with intention. So, rediscovering yourself before and around menopause is not just about managing symptoms, it's about redefining your life with strength, wisdom, and self love. So, your new chapter, embracing the women you are becoming, isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you get to prioritize your own needs, where you have the wisdom of experience combined with the freedom of new possibilities. The sun hasn't set, it has only shifted. The heavy wheels of sound have finally lifted. With silver threads and a heart grown wise, you see the world through seasoned eyes. No longer a passenger to time's swift pace, you claim your throne with power and grace. Thank you. Thank you so much for the patient listening.
Dr. Sudha, I think that was one of the best piece of talk. A very assertive statement for the woman to be mindful in this phase of life and also bring in the realignment and accept the changes which are happening in our life very gracefully and live it very mindfully and meaningfully, and to have a very, very beautiful phase of life actually, when all the major responsibilities of the life have drifted, and to be enjoying their own self, that is ASMI. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rajeshri. Thank you so much.
Dr. Sudha, you really walk the talk. I mean, the gentleness which it was as if you're just talking to me. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Padmaja.
Yeah, Shubha and Hepzibah, your comments, please. Yes.
Dr. Sudha, it was a wonderful talk. How
Very
the
good.
biological changes will develop into a midlife storm, and how we have to rediscover, reflect on your changes, and how to get over. Right from how to rediscover is right from diet, movement, everything, connections, and mindfulness. You really, really taught us so many things. All that we have to embrace the menopause with the grace. Wonderful. Thank you so much for the lovely
Thank you
talk.
so much.
Congrats,
Yeah,
Sudha.
Shubha, you're mute.
1 minute only. So, Shubha.
Yeah, of course, of
Congrats,
course.
Sudha. It was
Shubha, you're mute. Please unmute, Shubha. 1 minute, Anita.
Yeah, sorry about that because I've been talking continuously. And thank you very much indeed, Dr. Sudha, for giving us such a holistic, approach. And one thing also very important is to let go. Everyone cannot do everything. We have to, have boundaries, and we have to feel content. We have to draw our lines. I think that also becomes very important. Anyway, it was it's a real change in, the life in many, many ways. And you really gave us a complete picture of that. Thank you very much, Dr. Sudha. And also let me thank Dr. Shobha, Dr. Rajeshri, and the KSOGA team for making me part of this webinar. I really enjoyed the talk by Dr. Sudha. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anita
Thank
ji,
you,
कुछ
Dr.
कह रहे थे
Shobha.
आप?
This is very nice. Dr. Sudha, the joy journal, writing things and
Yes,
gratefulness
journaling,
about
journaling.
Yeah, journal.
That was
call
the
as a
clinching.
joy journal.
Yes.
Joy
I did
So
not
very
elaborate much because of, less time, but
So there is still more to come. ये तो खाली ट्रेलर है. सुधा जी, पूरे साल आप ऐसा पिक्चर दिखाएंगे हमको.
Thank
How
you.
to rediscover
Yes,
ourselves.
Thank you so
Anita ji,
much. Thank you
Anita
so
ji.
much.
Sudha, congrats. It was a unique presentation. I think every word has come from your heart only. And
Thank you
have
so much.
related the
Yeah,
whole talk
that is
so
there.
nicely. Congrats, congrats.
सच में दिल की आवाज है. बहुत अच्छा. बहुत अच्छा. Rajeshri?
Yeah, I
Can
think
we
I
move
just
forward to the
congratulated
panel? Yes, please.
the talk
Yes,
because Dr. Sudha
Yeah, you did it. Yes.
she just reminds me of the apple of Jammu and Kashmir. So sweetly she presented her talk, and such
Yes.
freshness in her
Yes.
presentation and her being. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and
Yeah.
giving us a very, very meaningful insight, and then a motivational aspect, because many women, they have the
Yes.
self-doubt at this phase of life. They are really not sure whether what is happening with them is something pathological, but then so nicely it was put in that all that is a part of life and a part
All
of.
that is you. Yes.
Thank you
Lovely.
so much.
I
Thank you, Dr.
have,
Rajeshri.
we
I'm
have
sure
with us.
going to
Just
take your KSOGA to a greater height.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
she
so
will.
much.
She will.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have with us Dr. Mohini Prasad. Sudhaji and Rajeshri, I must tell you that Mohini was instrumental in starting the menopause chapter at Bangalore several years back, actually when she was president of the Bangalore Society. So the credit of starting Bangalore chapter goes to Mohini Prasad. Later on only it became a society. Mohini, thanks for joining, Mohini. If you want to say anything, unmute.
Unmute.
Because we shall be
Unmute.
moving to the panel. Yes.
Unmute. Dr. Mohini.
Unmute, please. Mohini. Yes. Mohini is past president of Bangalore Society, very vibrant in her year. Yes, Mohini, can you speak?
I mean, it was such a wonderful talk. I mean, Dr.
Yes.
Sudha has really opened every woman's heart over here. I mean, whatever age be it, not just recent menopause, maybe even in the very late menopause, even in the 70s. I mean, everyone has time to start fresh. And this is what she's trying to tell us. I think that was an excellent talk, Sudha. Excellent talk. I really enjoyed it. And I think these messages will go to each one of us personally. It's not that we have to give this sort of advice to patients. We have to take it ourselves. We have to take it because
Yes,
that is
true.
what comes first. Because we
बहुत
shouldn't
अच्छा लग रहा है.
seeing
She's
patients and
really feeling very positive after that talk.
Thank you so
Everyone
much.
is feeling very positive, and I'm afraid this webinar has become very woman-centric. What to do?
when you go
Thank you.
home, when you go home, that's what is important, and that should be
Correct.
maintained.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mohini. Lovely
Thank you
that
so
you could
much.
join. And with that,
Thank you.
shall we move ahead to the panel discussion? I just wanted to connect to the audience directly here once, Rajeshri, on your behalf also. I want to invite them to put their questions in the chat box, and I want them to connect to the KSOGA president. I want them to connect to the IMS president with any of your queries and any of your thoughts which you have for this program, and you want to suggest something creative about this, you want to get involved in ASMI projects, because I think now we can ask Dr. Rajeshri before we move on to the panel to give a slide presentation maybe of her project ASMI. Shall we do that, Rajeshri? No, you're mute.
Yeah, I would like to say that we, under the banner of ASMI, are planning to have many projects as in reach out programs to the societies to cater to the needs and requirements and the doubts that everyone has. Just like as we had a talk by Dr. Sudha Sharma, if she doesn't mind, then I think we can make it as a pamphlet or, as a ready reckoner, so that these are the simple things which are so boosting. And just like Doctor said just now, that this is not only for the patient, but it's for each one of us going through this phase of life wherein maybe, this kind of fogging and this kind of lack
Yeah.
of energy or the enthusiasm which are considered to be slowing us down. But then at this phase of era that we exist, that there is no slowing down even at 70s or 80s, as rightly said. And this would be truly motivational. And I would like to ask the president of the IMS that we could, in future, have some programs like a certification program or any such which are happening, so that, the practitioners of OBGYN and maybe those of whom who want to take up menopausal health or the midlife health as a area of interest, then give them the guided and the focused advice, so that they can take it forward and have a pilot study or a certification program. And I think we can talk in person later, Dr. Sudha, that
Yes, sure, Dr. Rajeshri.
can we
Why not?
associate with
Why
such?
not?
And I
Why?
think mainly the pilot studies and having the Google form of having the survey of the, many women, they feel shy to come out. We are all the time focusing only on the cancers. We are focusing on the screening for the, the cervical cancer or the breast cancer and such. But we are ignoring a very, very important aspect of her quality of life in terms of, mental well-being, and then interaction, the social interaction, and taking forward. Because as you rightly said, the community feeling or the social interaction is the most important component of this phase of life. So I think we can have many more meaningful associations to take
Sure,
forward.
Dr.
I request
Rajeshri.
if we can have
Always.
a certification course 1 day or 2 day, wherein we can register those who are interested, and they can have a more, impactful spread of their practice. Because even at this age, say around 50s or 60s, most of the practitioners are now looking to drift in their quality of the practice also. The hardcore obstetrics no longer, would be justified to do at that particular point. And there are many of them who are looking either into the cosmetic gynecology or the midlife, or
Good
some
night,
of them are
Sanjana.
going only for the ultrasound, or some of them are going only for the perinatal health and such thing. So I think this is one arena wherein we could take it up as a program, and then have not only for the practitioners, but also for the public at large. And I have just now shared the link in one of my common groups of friends who are non-medicals, and there's such positive response to listen to this talk of yours, because everyone have these doubts, and not all are are bold or strong enough to come up and face this, because previously with the joint family system, it was all blended. Now with the independent living and the nuclear kind of family system that we have, and the children moving out, and only the husband and wife, or sometimes only the lady staying in the household, this becomes quite a challenge to live in this phase of life. I'm so happy that you brought it up in such a pleasant manner, like a story, like Padmaja said, it was like talking to each other, what we share and the concerns that we have for each other. And I would like to connect with you in the person and see what we can effectively do to enhance this learning and understanding and certification in KSOGA along with IMS. Thank you so much.
Dr. Rajeshwari, that would be a pleasure. Together we can do it.
Yes.
Why not?
Thank you. I think we'll move
If
for
we
the
join hands, the work will be so much amplified. No
Yes.
doubt. Yes. So with that, I think let us move forward to the panel. There are questions in the chat box about premature ovarian insufficiency, etc. And by we shall bring it. So everyone knows me, so I shall skip this slide. Next, please. Right now, I am present here as Secretary General of KSOGA, and this is my lovely co-convener who is the co-moderator. She has taken 10 minutes out for punching because she is in a medical college. She said she'll join back in 10 minutes. She belongs to Kalburgi. She is Associate Professor of MRMC College, Kalburgi, and she is also the Executive Committee member in KSOGA from the North Zone. So Sanjana will be waiting for you. Next, please. The experts today, and it is my pleasure to introduce Jyoti Jaiswal. A very special privilege this is, because Jyoti, though younger to me, has climbed the KSOGA staircase very, very well, and she is now the Secretary General of IMS, Indian Menopause Society. She is Professor and HOD Department of OB-GYN, Pandit JNM Medical College, Raipur, and the Secretary General of IMS, as I said. She is also featuring in ISAR and IAG, ESOFC and ISOPAR in the local society.
Thank you, Shobha Didi. Thank you so much for
बहुत अच्छा
involving
काम
us.
कर रहे हैं आप, and thanks for coming and joining us. Thank you so much, Jyoti. Next, please. Yeah, and I think it will take a full day to read out her CV. So, with her permission, I'm moving on. And I have, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Shubha Sethia, a very charming person from Jaipur, serving as Joint Secretary of the Indian Menopause Society right now, but very significant contribution when she was chairperson of the Public Awareness Committee for Club 35 IMS the last 2 years. Excellent work she has done. And she has also featured in the local Rajasthan chapters of Menopause of South Sea and of course in Jaipur Gynae Society as well. Welcome, Shubha. And really
much. Thank you.
To have you here, Shubha. Next, please. Yeah, so this is a person after my heart, because she shares a passion for dancing just as I do. Archana Dwivedi, the brilliant chairperson of Midlife Management Committee, FOXY, and she's president of the Baroda Society, Vadodara Society, OB-GYN Society also, and she has been secretary of WDWIMA also, and founder for Menopause Society of Vadodara, and a lot of work. She has incidentally also worked as a chairperson or as a national website committee chairperson for IMS. And she has been in FOXY in different capacities. Welcome, Archana. Such a pleasure to see your lovely self here. And next we have Archana, you're there? Yeah. So then we have
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am, I'm here only.
Yeah, Dr. Padmaja V from Vijayawada. Again, a very vibrant society. Vijayawada has contributed a lot to FOXY and to IMS. They have conducted conferences, even to ISOPAR, time and again, and a very vibrant society. And Padmaja is one of the patrons and mentor for that society.
Thank
Has
you, Dr.
had a
Shobha. If
very
there is
rich
a lot, they know I did a lot of work. Let's go to the panel.
Your CV is so dense, Padmaja. How
Yeah,
to
that's
read
why,
it
madam.
out? Huh?
Good.
Lovely, lovely to have you here, Padmaja. And then I come to someone who I have always regarded as my own teacher, Dr. K. Uma Devi, a very senior professor, former professor at Ramaiah Medical College, and currently professor and HOD of OBG at Santosh Hospital, Bangalore, a DNB teacher. But significantly, Madam has taught several generations of MG, MS university students at Ramaiah Medical College when she was heading the department as well. And of course, she has been an examiner for postgraduates, undergraduates, published several articles.
Thank
And
you.
Madam, welcome, Madam, to the
Thank you,
panel
Shobha.
today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with your permission, let me go and share my slide. Please stop sharing. Thank you so much. And my PPT is already open. So this will be a very quick, very quick, mm, very what to say, crisp panel. We shall not be dwelling on each slide for long, and I request all panelists to be very alert and start answering very quickly and start contributing. And I'm really thinking, whether I will have any say because all of them are such experts. So we thought that we will do some case-based description writing in the sense, case-based discussion only on menopause hormone therapy and menopause care in general. So when, which, and why about the hormone therapy is what we wanted to discuss today. At the same time, saying that it should be, as Dr. Meeta clearly pointed out, that it needs to be evidence-based, it needs to be individualized, and sometimes in older women, it has to be a multidisciplinary decision making. And these are the significant effects of menopause. I just want to ask the panelists here that how much does age matter when you're, how does the age factor play out for midlife women as far as menopause hormone therapy is concerned? So, if I can ask them, yes, anyone can answer.
So initially at the time of the perimenopause, at these late 40s, when they're having really vasomotor symptoms, sleep disturbances, mood changes, instead of, if it's affecting their quality of life, and they're usually at the peak of their career, they're networking with so many people, they might be in managerial or presidential
So, you want to
positions.
start when they need it and not
Yeah,
wait for the
so
final
not,
menstrual period.
yeah.
Yes,
And
I agree with you.
so that time, if it is affecting the quality of life, I think if they have no contraindications, it's time to have a complete checkup, and if needed, start hormones.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that is
Anyone
the best
else?
time to start.
Yes, anyone else?
Yeah. Can I say, Shobha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The age matters, no? Because you know that a different age group, perimenopausal, then immediately and postmenopause, we would like to know the symptoms are different and also the need for HRT or menopausal hormone therapy is important. When they come around 40 years, no, they have mostly the vasomotor symptoms and sleep disorders and mood change. And around menopause, like no, then at 50 and immediate postmenopause, they have the urogenital atrophy and late menopause. After that, we have the change like osteoporosis, other things. So it also depends when to start. See, we cannot start for women who are above 60 and also who have, it's not going to be beneficial for them as per the WHI. So, age is a very important factor which determines when to start the menopausal hormone
So,
therapy
is it
and
safe
who
to
have
say,
symptoms
yeah,
inside.
correct, correct. So, it's safe to
Can
say
I?
that after 60 years, the role becomes less. Before 60 years,
Yes,
you
yes.
can. Yeah, anybody?
Yeah, madam, can I add one point here? Because as a
Please,
care
please.
provider, when we're
Yeah.
talking about the age of starting, we all know that within 10 years, if you start, you give the maximum benefit to our patients. So here
Yes.
I would like to add one thing, bridging the gap, getting them for the health checks, detecting them early about their symptoms is a very important thing.
Very true.
Specifically, when I talk about the cardiovascular disease or osteoporosis, they usually come when it is already very late. So maybe Sudha ma'am focused it very nicely at sleep. anxiety, panic attacks, depressive things. If they come up early, we start the intervention early, we get a better midlife or a menopause. So I think bridging the gap with the proper checkups, advising them, giving them journaling is a very good option, but giving them time to listen and take the history so that at an appropriate age we can intervene.
Thank you so much. So before 50 years, the benefit far outweigh the risks, but 50 to 60, you can balance this better. And more than 60, the risk often equals the benefit. Sometimes it may outweigh. So it needs to be heavily individualized in older women. And Meeta correctly said that overuse is a risk today because once we start talking about it robustly, some practitioners may get carried away. So overuse should be guarded against. So with that, we come to the 5 Ws of prescribing MHT. And I
One
think
like prevention and
Jyoti hasn't opened her account. No problem. No problem. Please tell. Yeah. Yeah. Sanjana, that was you?
yes,
So
ma'am.
I think as far as the 5 Ws are concerned, I think what we need to understand is that whatever we consider as menopause hormone therapy, it is not just an elixir of youth. So what we have to understand is that when to give, whom to give, how to give, what to give. And this is all that has to be individualized by according to each and every patient. So we have to see the thoroughly analyze the patient and then decide what type of hormone therapy, and do we really need to give hormone therapy, and then if we need to give, what is the way we are going to give this hormone therapy is very important. So the first
Little echo
question
is
that
there.
comes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So the first question is that why should we give menopause hormone therapy? So why should we give the estrogen? The hormones are coming down, so we can replace. But do we replace in every situation? No, there are definite indications of giving hormone therapy. And the thing is that when the symptoms are mild to moderate, the lifestyle measures are sufficient enough to take care of our problems. So when the symptoms are moderate to severe and they are affecting our quality of life, especially the vasomotor symptoms, it is then that we give menopause hormone therapy. And apart from that, there are certain other indications where we give it as a method of prevention of further problems. And that is when it is in cases of premature ovarian insufficiency
Yeah,
and
we'll come to
sometimes
that.
in
We'll
early
come to that,
menopause.
Shubha.
So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
dear. Yeah. So
I'd
Sanjana,
like to add one point to that.
yes.
Like, who is MHT for? Like, no, it may
Hmm.
be for a natural menopause or for a surgical menopause.
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
do you want to give for all women, just like elixir of life, youth, immediately after menopause or before menopause? And the types and doses. There's a lot of confusion about the type of estradiol,
Correct, madam.
what
Correct.
progestin we should we give. So
Yes,
much in the market, and we are
in
not
the
sure
market.
which one is going to
Let
cause
us come to it, madam,
breast
in the
cancer,
next
all that.
slides. Yes, we'll come to it.
Okay.
We'll come to it.
All these
Sanjana, do
five
you want to go
W's are there.
forward with the next question? How will you evaluate? Yes.
Like
Okay,
ma'am,
so my
nowadays
question.
the MHD should be used only for prevention. Prevention and generalization was used before, which is out nowadays, ma'am. Now it should be considered only for symptom relief and individualization and tailoring of
Yeah.
doses done. What
Yes.
the
Yes.
recent guidelines, what the IMS book has given, I think.
Can I ask the panelists about evaluation? In your patients, how do you evaluate? ज्योति जी आप बताएंगे आपसे शुरू करें क्या
Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. And as in the previous slides, it was highlighted that window of opportunity is important. That golden window we should identify. But that golden window is not open for everybody. As rightly said, that it is for the people who are symptomatic right now, or on the preventive aspect, if we go, only one indication currently is given, that if there is a high risk of osteoporosis or if the patient is osteopenic, then in that condition we can add on for the menopausal hormone therapy. So when we go for the evaluation, to whom we can give. Like even if they are symptomatic, still they need evaluation. So detailed history is very important, because we cannot give MHT left and right to anyone. It affects so many symptoms. So what is baseline, BMI, blood pressure, and the other screening programs are already done or not, depending on like if they are having any history of any kind of cancers, maybe endometrial cancer or the breast cancer, or any other symptoms which can, like migraine history also, like venous thrombosis also. These all histories are important. So
Yeah.
detailed history, baseline, BMI and BP. So accordingly we can choose whether they are fit for MHT or not. And if they are fit for MHT, then what MHT is likely to benefit them most.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
what route they are needing, the vaginal route or the oral route or the transdermal route, etc. This is very important.
Correct. And I think at the outset, one should be ready to rule out the contraindications, like established
Yes.
cardiovascular disease
Definitely,
or
and
increased risk
only
of
with the help
cardiovascular
of
disease. Yeah.
a proper detailed history and evaluation, we can count on that these are the contraindications, so we cannot go for the MHT, and other options are there for those patients.
Correct. Correct. So active endometrial and gynec hormone dependent cancer, active breast cancer, high risk for breast
Including a
cancer.
strong family history also, I think, ma'am.
Family history, yes, family history. Though it is
Very
not the direct contraindication, it must guide us for better evaluation. And liver disease, suspected pregnancy, etc., and undiagnosed abnormal vaginal bleeding. There's a lot of caution which has been advised for women with lipid profile abnormalities, active gallbladder disease, and women with, as correctly said by Jyoti, migraine with aura also, and a history of deep vein thrombosis, varicose veins, etc. So these are places for caution. And then, you must be able to consider options other than MHT when there is a high cardiovascular risk or a breast cancer risk, etc. When the uterus is present, we have to use both estrogen and progesterone. So now, by and large, we are all guided by the guidelines, and one of them is the white paper, which was released in 2024 at the Melbourne IMS. This was the article which was presented there, and the guideline was released by Nick Penney and colleagues. And by and large, the highlights were that it is the most effective treatment for VSM and GUSM. These are acronyms for everyday lingo for menopausal care, is vasomotor symptoms and genitourinary syndrome of menopause. This is for practitioners who are not yet into menopausal care. And personalization, a shared decision making, route, dose, and duration. We have spoken about age already. A word about the transdermal route, and that lower doses, one should be skilled in prescribing the lower doses of MHT. And then, as somebody mentioned, I think Shubha mentioned, kindly mute, Shubha, kindly mute. Please mute. Women with premature ovarian insufficiency. And then we must know where is paucity of data, paucity of safety data after 60 years. So be very, very careful. But one thing which hugely benefits women is low dose vaginal estrogen therapy for genitourinary syndrome of menopause. By and large, it is very safe. And bioidentical hormone therapy should be avoided, and that. So a general question again to everybody, and you can take it up. Yes, Sanjana, you are into asking all the questions, please.
But does the
Here I
estrogen
wish to
matter?
add, Shobhadi, as you were saying about the GUSM. So 60 years and beyond is generally not preferred for the systemic or the transdermal route. But for the vaginal local estrogen supplementation, it can be given even way beyond even in the late 70s also.
Agree. Yes,
So
Sindhana.
as far as this is concerned about the estrogen that matters, so we have a whole basket of estrogens available to us. But then how to choose the estrogen? So we have to understand that synthetic estrogens have a load on the liver and they can affect your coagulation profile as well as the renin-angiotensin system. And therefore, they should be used only and only when contraception is required. So in the perimenopausal stages, if contraception is required, we'll use synthetic estrogens. Now comes the natural estrogens. Now CEE was used very frequently earlier, but now it has been realized that it is a mixture of various estrogens, and therefore the hepatic overload of CEE is also much more than that of the very natural bioidentical estrogen, that is estradiol. So now we have shifted from CEE to estradiol in our treatment. Then comes the
The
other
best is
natural
the
estrogens.
17 beta estradiol, right?
17 beta estradiol, and
Correct.
is the most preferred and most used salt.
Correct.
Estradiol is not used except in cases of vaginal estrogen because of its lower potency. And there is now a new addition which is about to come, and that is estradiol.
Yes,
Estradiol
estradiol.
is a very nice estrogen preparation where it has decreased risk of breast cancer as well as decreased risk of venous thromboembolism. So COCs are available with estradiol, but at present MHT is not available, but it is soon about to come.
It will
So
come.
this
It will
is
come.
how
I
we
think
choose
today we have
the
to drive home those preparations which are available. So that is the 17 beta estradiol.
Yes. So the
Yes.
most bioidentical is estradiol, and then comes the doses of estradiol, because the lower the dose that you use, the less will be the risk as far as venous
Yeah.
thromboembolism is
Yes.
concerned.
Correct.
So we try to use the lowest possible, but yet the most effective dose.
Most
So that
effective.
is the most
This point
important
is
thing,
very
is that it
important,
should
Dr.
be
Shobha, here,
Yeah.
that the dose should be optimum.
Yes.
In this way, if we are feeling that always the lowest possible dose, so people used to give in a hesitant manner. So sometimes they should understand that the most optimum for that particular patient, that 0.325 or 1.25 can be the lowest dose for that particular patient, and optimum also for the another patient it may not. So individualization of the
Yeah,
dose
Jyoti.
for that
Correct.
particular patient is also important.
Thank you so much.
So
I think
Shubha rightly said that
yes.
lowest possible, but most effective for that
Yes,
patient.
we'll come to low dose therapy in a while.
Yeah.
With this slide, I just wanted to ask Archana and Uma madam and Padmaja ki, what do you think is the most significant long-term benefit of giving MHT at the right time for the right patient? Means women who are symptomatic in the perimenopause or early menopause, if they are treated timely with the correct dose and duration of MHT, what is the most significant long-term benefit?
There are three benefits if I have to categorize it, like mental health, the osteoporosis, and cardiovascular health. The early you intervene, maximum is the result, as I already said, that optimum dose given for the, like hot flush is just a symptom. But if you treat it properly, there is sleep thing is prevented. There are so many lifestyle measures will be taken care of at a right intervention of MHT at the right time. So once you control the hot flush, the sleep is good for the patient, and you are eventually giving a good cardiovascular health to your patient. Because later on, if you give, the plaques can dislocate, it can be harmful at a later age. So early intervention would be good. If she has a history of fracture in the family, osteoporosis in the family, give her MHT at the right time to give a good outcome in terms of osteoporosis. Similarly, if she's having mental health issues with secondary to the other problems of menopause, like tiredness, comorbidities are there, treat them properly, so you have a better mental health in the
Correct.
patient longer go.
Yeah, Archana, I think I think what you are trying
Can
to
I
say
add
is
something?
yes, madam. Yes,
Yeah.
madam. Yeah.
See, as you had asked, no, starting at the right time for the symptomatic people, a lot of benefits. I think that we should come over the fear of starting MHT for those people who really need it. See, because studies
Beautiful.
have shown that definitely all-cause mortality has come down to a
Yes.
great extent, and
Thank you,
also
madam, for saying
bone
that. Yes.
fracture, all those things have decreased.
Yes.
So starting at the right time, that is within 10
Mm.
years of menopause,
Mm.
and when they are
Mm.
symptomatic, I
Mm.
think it gives a lot of benefit,
Mm.
and it becomes vice versa if you start late. So it is
Correct.
not
I think
So
the
useful
if
word
we
to run
window
start
of
early,
opportunity is something which is mattering for everybody. So if
correct.
you miss that window of opportunity, you're landing up in more trouble. So
yes.
that is
But
what
if
I
you
think Uma madam
utilize
and
it, if you
Yes,
utilize it, you are looking at 30% decrease in all-cause mortality and
cause mortality.
48% decrease in the coronary
Coronary,
heart disease risk.
Coronary heart
Yes.
disease.
So the cardiovascular benefit is very high if
very high.
taken
Most
at the right
benefited
time.
organ
Yes.
is heart, madam. If it is started
But just
earlier,
one word
then
of
heart is the
caution
most
here.
benefited.
Yeah.
Yes, one word of caution here that it is not to be used for primary or secondary prevention
Secondary
of
Yes.
prevention.
Yes.
Yeah.
diseases.
It should
So
never
that
be
is the
done
most
with the
important
intention
thing.
of
We
prevention
will,
of cardiovascular disease. Yes. So
yes.
then I think how many of you are robustly telling women along with MHT the parallel therapies also? And whatever I have put it here, I think Sanjana, you are telling them to have every
Complementary
possible,
therapy.
yes, no, every
Along with the
possible change in their lifestyle, just like Sudha said, including meditation, including yoga, diet,
yoga,
exercise, positive attitude, everything, and regulation of and supplements, antioxidants, vitamins, and of course, so
meeting friends more
pharmacotherapies
regularly,
in
ma'am.
Actually, Shobha, the
uh,
MHT is to be given when it is indicated. Particular indications are given for MHT, but for
yes,
lifestyle modification points, you have said
Well,
they are
it's
mandatory.
universal. It
And
is
they are
universal.
universal, they are
They're
mandatory, and
universal.
they should get started as early as possible, not to wait for
Correct.
40s.
Correct. Correct. It should be
And
a
one thing
habit
which
from
I
the
would
beginning.
add as a dimension to this, what Sudha ma'am also said,
Mm.
whenever you start, you set the goals according to your age. Don't compare
Yes.
with what you were past. So that gives a little
Mm.
smart movement towards the
Correct.
exercise.
Correct.
So I think
I
being smart in
yeah.
choosing your own
I
goals is
just
very.
thank you, Archana. I just have a slide
I
here.
discipline
Any one of
matters.
you can share your experience with the three components which I have put here: the MHT, the non-hormonal therapy, and the complementary therapy. I want each one of you to tell what is your experience in these.
May I say
Anyone,
something,
anyone.
Shobhadi?
Yeah. Bolo Jyoti.
Yeah. So, looking at the when you are managing the menopause as a whole, the menopausal hormone therapy works best for the basically for the vasomotor symptoms, the
Yes.
common menopausal symptoms, as we say, the
Mm,
sleep disturbance and the
mm,
vasomotor symptoms.
mm,
But
mm,
when the predominant symptom is the mood disorders,
mm,
in that condition, the antidepressants have a better role in comparison to MHT. It has been suggested by so many
mm, mm,
studies.
mm.
Then one patient is having the vasomotor symptoms, sleep disorders also, as well as she is having a serious depressive tendency as well. Then start from the citalopram or fluoxetine or the gabapentin or pregabalin, whatever is fit for that. It also depends. Like if the patient is having sleep problem, you
Mm,
start with gabapentin. The sleep
mm,
problem will antidepressant depressive problem will also go, and then
mm.
patient will be comfortable.
Correct.
If she is not up to the doing up to the mark, then you can add
Mm.
on the MHT for this, because MHT
Yes.
is not the
Correct.
first line drug
Mm,
for the mood
mm, mm,
disorder kind of thing. So
mm,
this should
mm.
be there. And
Correct.
complementary and alternative therapies for the patients who are having the minimalistic symptoms, not very, very severe symptoms. So
And also, if they
mild
are
to
very reluctant for menopause hormone therapy,
reluctant for menopausal.
and
First
they are
line is
not
almost
serious enough
a
for
menopausal hormone
non-hormonal
therapy.
therapy.
Yes.
Yes,
So
not severe
also,
enough.
and also phytoestrogens, not the only pharmaceutical phytoestrogens or isoflavone. The
The
homemade
dietary
remedies
also.
of isoflavone,
Yeah.
they can add on, each and every patient can add on, like the
Mm,
black gram and all those things
mm,
which are
mm.
having the high concentration of these.
Correct. Even turmeric, turmeric, even
Turmeric
ginger,
also. Yeah,
flaxseed, yes,
nowadays
and
even
black
the
queen.
tablets of turmeric are coming in the market.
Correct.
Flax
Okay,
are
so
there.
let us now go ahead and
Add one.
Next
Shobha?
question.
ha, madam.
one thing I'd like to add, no, engaging in a hobby. That's what I tell my patients when they come. Start a new thing. So learn a new language or something which you like, passionate about, no, and they get diverted. I think the healthy lifestyle and be disciplined. Something like Dr. Sudha was telling, no, a morning walk,
Be
10
the
minutes,
new
keep
you.
it
Madam,
consistent.
coming
And I
back to
think that helps.
MHT, madam, in what ways can we give menopause hormone therapy? In what ways?
So
What are the ways?
see, menopause,
Yeah, what are the options? Yeah.
In what route? So menopausal hormone therapy can be given in oral route, transdermal route, as a gel, as a patch, in the vaginal route, and mostly estrogens alone or estrogen with progesterone. So when a patient needs, like if it is just a perimenopausal age group and she has just attained menopause and she has no other contraindications, but she has symptoms like a hot flushes or something like that, then you will have to give her a shortest duration and the smallest dose. So we'd like to give same as you said, that 17 beta estradiol, and the progestin is the micronized or the dydrogesterone. So this is the progesterone which is much better compared to the medroxyprogesterone, because more breast
So
cancer
I have
risk
put
with
up some examples
medroxyprogesterone.
here. I have put up some
Yeah.
examples. So it can
So
be
here you,
cyclical sequential, it can be continuous sequential,
yes,
or it can be
it can be.
continuous
All these are
combined with
different types. If there is a uterus, then you will have to add the progestins. If there is no uterus, you can give continuous estrogen therapy. And if there is a estrogen, you can give a cyclic one or a continuous sequential, where there is a regular bleeding at the end of the stopping the
So it
medication.
could be a
Or if you have a
21-day
7-day gap.
estrogen and 14-day progesterone. It could be a
Yes.
28-day
7-day
estrogen
gap.
and 14-day progesterone. And it could be a everyday estrogen and progesterone. Yeah.
And all these has come to our market very much. It is available in our market.
One by one, please. One
We
by
need
one.
to
Yeah.
specialize treatment and tailor the doses according to the need of patient. That is
Yes,
the
very correct. Yes, yes. Yeah, we'll come to it as we discuss the cases.
Just
Sanjana,
one
can you
point
take
here.
this case?
Just one
Yeah.
point here I would like to add is how do you decide the regime is also very important, because like in cyclic regimes, you can have withdrawal menopausal symptoms. So women who have withdrawal menopausal symptoms on cyclic regime, we go for a sequential regime that would be better. But sequential regime has a higher incidence of endometrial hyperplasia. And and the continuous regime cannot be given before the patient is at least 1 year postmenopausal.
Yes, we'll
Because
come
there
to
will
that.
be
As
more
जैसे
chances
वो
of
cases
breakthrough
आएंगे,
bleeding.
तो ये सब minor nuances are coming up now. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we are at risk of repeating ourselves, Shubha. Let me just post the cases. Sanjana, can you present this case? Yes. Sanjana? Hello, Sanjana, can you present this case?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Our first case, she is the age of 51 years, attended recent menopause at 50 years. She complains of hot flushes, night sweat, sleep disturbance, no CVD, no DM or no cancer history, and no comorbidities. Is she an ideal candidate for MHT? Preferred estrogen route? Any one of you can take this question.
I think 51 years recent menopause, she's an ideal candidate to give MHT, along with definitely adjuvants lifestyle measures, what Madam had already mentioned in previous slide. But with uterus intact, yes, progesterone should be added. Should be added because it is important. Now, the thing is that she needs to be first investigated properly before starting the MHT. That will include all the parameters what Madam had mentioned earlier. And with this slide, as you can see, calcium, vitamin D3 becomes vital along with protein supplementation. We can give her continuous combined regime daily at night. She can take the fixed timings, we can tell her. And CEs and dydrogesterone is all, but I prefer like estradiol and 17 beta estradiol combination along with dydrogesterone would be a better option with seemingly more naturally mimicking. So, that
Is
should be a
there
good
any
option.
situation where you would like to have the sequential therapy?
If she wants to bleed regularly.
Correct.
That can be one thing, because somehow there's a stigma that I'm a femininity and my sexual life is still prevalent if I'm bleeding every month. So that can be one
Suppose
thing.
she has not yet attained the FMP, then also you could consider the
Yeah,
late,
then also we can
menopause.
consider. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, ma'am, definitely.
correct. So perimenopausal women and early postmenopausal women, that is your answer to that. Okay. So the nuances are like this daily at night. I've already spoken about this. Suppose it's the transdermal route, then 0.05 milligram per day as the starting dose. Natural progesterone is safer because the lipid effects are less. So the cardiovascular system is better protected when you use the natural progesterone, the micronized progesterone, and possibly the breast as well. Yes, as Shubha Sethia was bringing it up, that we must, look towards hormone withdrawal symptoms, etc. I agree with you, Shubha, because I often call them after 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, whatever is possible. And as Sudha very nicely said, that you should journal. So I tell them to maintain a diary. I didn't use the word journaling. It's just a different name. Ask them to maintain a symptom diary. And after 3 months, they are able to give a feedback. When to stop treatment is one of the questions which many in the audience must be wanting to know. I have put some of the things, but would anyone want to tell when you want to stop the treatment?
Yes, of course, when the patient is relieved with the symptoms, and now she wishes that she can go off without the tablets. That time we can come down for the tapering of the menopausal hormone therapy, or we can suddenly stop also. So this is one of the things, because we suggest that the lowest possible dose and for the shortest possible time. It is not once started and continuously going on for whatever time it
Correct.
is required.
We
So for
usually
doing
prefer to
that,
give them for a year or 2 years at least, so that they get some benefit out of it. But
yes.
definitely, if any
So
of these contraindications come up,
with a proper follow-up,
yes,
immediately when
absolutely.
you start, after 1 month, you ask them to come for follow-up, then 3 month, and then 3 month, every 3 monthly for the first year, and then 6 monthly for the second year. And if the patient think that now we taper off, so we can taper off if the
Yeah,
patient
yeah,
complains about the.
that is for correct. That is for conclusion of the therapy. Yes, that is another question. Here, I just wanted to highlight if she develops migraine, new onset migraine, or eye symptoms, or jaundice, or hypertension, and if she has to go for an elective surgery, better to stop few weeks beforehand, right? And if she has any persistent symptoms, then we must look towards changing the formulation, altering the dose, and decrease the dose or change the type of progestogen. Sometimes progestogens will cause a little more symptoms. Estrogen is a feel good hormone and progesterone is a feel heavy hormone. So something like that. So the progesterone will
Definitely.
if we
Definitely,
are
you
giving
may
200
need to alter
micro,
the dosage.
we may have to give 100 micro. If we are giving 10 milligram dihydro, we may have to come down to 5 milligram because both protect endometrium well.
Yes.
And maybe we add
For,
something non-hormonal. Yeah,
I think for
correct.
primary ovarian insufficiency, we have to give up to the age of 51 years,
Yes,
up to the
we'll
age of
come to that.
to that.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. We
No,
will
when
come
to
to that.
start and when
There
to
was a
stop.
question, I
Next
think, which is
question.
why madam
Next
is
question
answering.
Yes,
we
yes,
have,
it
ma'am.
will come. It will quickly come. So this is just a slide to say that both are equally effective, but the estradiol, as the whole house has agreed, estradiol is better than CEE. So we should go on. This also has been very clearly
Yes, we have put
by
up this
everybody.
slide before also.
Yeah.
Yes,
Relaxing
ma'am.
techniques,
Yeah.
a little bit
Relax.
extra is here. The layered
Yes.
clothing and cooling devices, and a lot of tricks can be taught to her to overcome the hot flushes. So then,
Yes.
Sanjana,
Coming
yes.
to the case two, ma'am. She is a 39-year-old, married with one child. She has underwent total abdominal hysterectomy with bilateral salpingo-oophorectomy for severe endometriosis 6 months back. Her BMI is 22 kg per meter square, presenting complaints with severe hot flushes, night sweats, mood changes and anxiety, sleep disturbance, vaginal dryness, and reduced work performance and quality of life. So, premature menopause, what madam was talking just now, do we treat with
Yeah.
hormone replacement? Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Can anyone take
Yeah.
this question, ma'am?
Yes.
we
This
can't.
patient has two components. One is premature ovarian insufficiency due to surgical menopause, and second is about the indication of the surgical menopause is endometriosis 6 months back. So there are two components. She is not having the uterus, but she is having the history of the endometriosis. So as Madam suggested that Uma Madam said that for the POI she should get the menopausal hormone therapy up till the age of the natural menopause. So at least for the 47 years of age, she should get it. And here, the lowest possible dose should given so that she can have the proper benefit of MHT
think slight
for
disturbance in the
the
network, I
long
think, for
terms as
Jyoti.
well, because the requirement in the younger age for the hormone is not the same as in a perimenopausal.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
in this is a
Am I
tricky case, Shobha.
Yeah.
Endometriosis is there.
Am
And
I
if you give it, whether it will any
audible?
other focus, it will flare up or not
Mm.
by giving her the MHT. So I think we can give her the MHT, just estrogen
Oh, madam,
alone and try
see,
and see.
now it is 6 months over since
Am
the
I
surgery.
Okay, 6 months after the hysterectomy.
Yeah, 6 months are over. So probably it's important to replace the estrogen now because she's having very
Yes.
severe symptoms, as expected.
Madam, one of the thing is
Yeah,
hormones
Padmaja,
need.
at last. I want
pe-
Padmaja. Yes.
yeah, they need to, the peritoneal itself undergoes metaplasia, madam. So
Yes.
in people with this severe endometriosis, they will start having other places, adhesions and things like that. So for them, making sure that they have a high progesterone is very important. Without the uterus also they need progesterone.
Yes,
One.
exactly. Yes.
Number two, tibolone is a good option.
Is a good option. Uh-huh.
Tibolone is a good option.
But I think Tibolone, slightly older women do better with Tibolone, right?
No, madam, she doesn't have a uterus, so she still
So
will
it's
do
okay.
well.
She will do well.
And
Okay.
the
she can be
other
offered.
thing is,
She can do
because
it.
she has vaginal symptoms, we can give her vaginal estrogen.
Vaginal estrogen.
Exactly. I
And
agree with that.
for endometriosis, madam, we are also using norethisterone 5 milligram that has a little element of estrogenic element. And here, because she's had a panhysterectomy, so she does not have any estrogen. She will
Okay.
have an upregulation of the estrogen receptors.
Let me
It
do.
works.
Yes.
Just
Yes,
one
I
point
agree.
here. Just one point here that this patient is already past 6 months. What we have to remember in these cases is start hormone replacement therapy before the time of discharge.
Yes.
Even before,
Yeah.
investigate
Okay.
her fully and start the treatment is very important.
I just want to bring home one fact to the audience that in women who have severe vasomotor symptoms, the body is crying out for estrogen. And let us remember that vasomotor symptoms may not just indicate that the brain receptors are crying out for estrogen, and that is why it might be a harbinger of more severe, more serious other diseases. Maybe it is a harbinger of stroke. Maybe the estrogen deficiency will cause more plaquing, more atherosclerosis for her. She is only 39. So if she is severely symptomatic, I'm sorry to say, I will not agree with holding back estrogen. On the other hand, we give the full progesterone, which is recommended, and we follow up the case because once the ovaries, the endogenous estrogen has been removed, I think it is possible to give them HRT to relieve their symptoms. Keep them under close monitoring for any relapses. And I have had 2 or 3 patients like this, and nothing happened to the disease. It did not come back because we gave them always progesterone as well. And they do excellently in their life because they are so miserable with the deficiency of the hormone. I have put this just to say that quality of life is so poor, and the long-term health in terms of osteoporosis, coronary heart disease, and stroke is so real and so much there. It is very important to give hormone replacement therapy for them. Vaginal estrogen plus systemic estrogen is sometimes required, and they are at risk for developing urogenital atrophy much earlier in life. Poor things. So we must give them that. Many of these women would have been, subfertile and infertile and would have suffered sexual intimacy problems as well because of the pain. So their quality of life has to be assured. Sorry about that. There were some questions about premature ovarian insufficiency, Sanjana, in the chat box. So I just wanted to bring out here. Would you like to just make this clear, Sanjana? Can you read these 4 points for me, please?
Ma'am, screen is not opening, ma'am. You just go ahead, ma'am.
Young women, if they have
Shobhadi, not
premature
only
ovarian
these things,
insufficiency,
whatever the routine benefits of the HRT, apart from that, especially for the younger people where POI happens, there are so much issues with the immunity related problems also, autoimmune disorders also,
yes,
and not only thyroid or the ACTH things, but otherwise overall well-being. And these patients lives a very miserable life later on if they are not taken care at their
At the same
younger age.
time,
So
Jyoti, इनको थोड़ा सा screening करना पड़ता है adrenal insufficiency because
definitely ACTH. That's why I said that ACTH should
it is seen in
we should see
3% of
about this.
POI and it is a potentially fatal disorder, adrenal insufficiency. So it's important to screen them for adrenal autoantibodies, right? Okay.
And TSH also, yearly
thyroid.
TSH.
Yes, I agree.
Adrenal auto antibodies, no, not being done because I tried in many labs. They said they are not doing. So
You
I
must
had
find out,
3
madam,
cases
seriously.
POI, but they were not doing the adrenal antibodies.
I must find out
So that
and
is
I
a
must get
practical
back.
problem.
No, that is not available I think anti-adrenal is not available, but anti-thyroid antibodies are available
Yeah,
and
that
they
we
must be
routinely
done.
do. That we
Yes.
routinely
That is
do.
there. So this
And serum cortisol is also available. Serum
Yes.
cortisol
yes,
can be done.
serum cortisol is there, but not adrenal antibodies.
As I have put here, Uma madam, 8 a.m. annually, we can do 8
Yeah,
a.m.
that is there.
serum
That I
cortisol.
agree. Cortisol,
This
yes.
is for girls who are POI and are on long-term menopause hormone therapy. We keep looking hormone replacement therapy. We keep looking at the serum cortisol also because in case they are adrenal insufficiency, they need steroid glucocorticoid replacement also. If it is less than 15 microgram per liter, ACTH stimulation test becomes necessary to identify. In cases with premature menopause and in general and POI, full replacement doses of estradiol, 2 milligram per day or transdermal 100 microgram patch. Please endorse this. Please endorse this because this will
This
save
is
her
very
long-term
important point
problems.
here.
Yes.
No low dose. Lowest possible dose is not the dictum for POI. The standard dose is the dictum for POI.
Thank you for putting that in place. And if the slightest doubt of genitourinary syndrome, in addition to this, add low dose vaginal estrogen. That is something very important because vaginal health is too precious. You have to conserve and you have to prevent atrophy. Okay, they are very prone for that. So,
Shobha, one thing
symptoms
which struck
should drive
me,
us.
yeah, here is in case of surgical menopause, we need not go for anti-adrenal antibodies and
No,
anti-thyroid
that is a different.
antibodies.
Sorry,
Yes,
That's
yes,
not POI.
yes.
This
So
is
in this
that was
case, we
no.
will
I
not
have
do.
added it here for young women because that's why I
Yes.
put it in red because it doesn't belong to this case. This
Right.
discussion is
Yes.
not for this because I didn't want to leave it because there are
Yes.
questions in the chat box about POI. Now the choice of progesterone, I think everybody agreed on micronized or dihydrogesterone. Now we can also have LNG because it is so long term that please mute. Levonorgestrel IUD also sometimes can be provided to these women, especially because it has contraceptive abilities. Healthy
There was
lifestyle.
one question, Madam Shobha, that
Bolo,
the
bolo.
younger women wishes for the chat box. One question is there that if younger women wishes for the withdrawal bleeding, yes, it can be given.
Yes, it can be a sequential
given in a
therapy.
sequential format.
It can be done as a sequential therapy. Well, the slide we showed earlier, sequential and combined, continuous combined, and combined sequential, continuous sequential, that also can be given. But plain sequential therapy of 21 days of estrogen and 14 days of progesterone is possible. And that is what we choose initially. For several years, we give them that because that makes them feel just like other women, isn't it? So,
And if you are giving progesterone, so some people used to give progesterone for 10 days. So 10 days is not sufficient.
no,
Minimum
14
of 12
days.
days. Ideal is
12 to
14, but
14 days.
minimum of 12 days is required.
Let us on this platform, let us give a strong message for 14. Let us give a strong message for 14. So till when should MHT be continued in POI? I think Uma madam answered this question till the natural age of menopause, at least until 50 years or till 50 years, whichever is earlier in that case. And this is grade 2C recommendation, and any contraindications, as I already discussed, follow up. Every aspect of the woman's health has to be followed up. Emotional, fertility, sexual function, bone health, cardiovascular health, risk of developing primary adrenal insufficiency, as we discussed earlier. There is one caveat here, which I have put in red, and that is the role of COC, the combined oral contraceptives. Of course, they have a very highly potent estrogen, which is more thrombogenic. Everyone knows ethinyl estradiol is more thrombogenic, 10 times more potent than estradiol. So it is not very, good for women having medical disorders, etc. But in younger women, in the window of opportunity, symptomatic women who also desire contraception, I think Sanjana only said that COCs can be given, with the acceptance that physiological hormone therapy may be more beneficial for BMD than higher dose estrogen, as in oral estrogen. So this ethinyl estradiol also gives less bone protection than the estradiol regime, than the physiological 17 beta estradiol regime. So bone protection is also less with COC,
Here
but
I wish to
symptom
put
relief
one
is
point,
there.
madam.
Yeah.
Here I wish to put one point that
Yeah, Jyoti.
though they are less bone potent and they are more having more side effects, but what we see in our practice, the patients of the poor community, they do
They
not
can, yes,
use
exactly.
to have the physiological hormone therapy because of the cost factor, which is
Cost
not
factor.
available.
Yes.
But patient coming in the hospital, these tablets are available for
Are
them
available
free
in
of
the
cost.
government sector.
So not
Yes.
it is better to give rather than not to give. They do not have. So
I agree,
in that
Jyoti.
condition
All of
also.
us have that experience that patients with Turner syndrome, when they get identified, we start them on COCs only for several years. And after that, only we are able to do better for them, right? So we have all had that experience. Thanks for bringing that out. Sanjana?
I think one more question in the chat box, no important question. I think it's a very interesting
Yes,
question.
madam. Yes, madam.
45-year-old lady, FSH of 25, has early menopause due to TAH, but her ovaries are still there. Okay, she has mild mood symptoms, and should MHT be started, seeing her window of opportunity and considering the long-term benefit, even if she doesn't have any symptoms?
Yes,
No, she
of
has
course.
She has mood symptoms.
It was same like
Yes,
our case, ma'am.
of
Same
course.
It is
No
only for a
matter
short
she is.
term. Would you like to give only for a short term for the mood, or
Yeah.
there is a window of opportunity for her here, or you want to give for a longer time for this lady because she's only 40 years?
We can give
At
and
least up
see.
to
But
the
Can
ovaries are
46,
rule
still
out.
there.
47 years. At least
Yeah, I
up
think
to
ovaries
46,
will
47
function for 3
years.
more years. 3 more years it will function after hysterectomy, usually because of the disturbance blood supply, early menopause. They
Yeah.
have not removed the ovaries. So ovaries are going to function for her till the age of 45. So if really symptoms occur or something, should we start, or
What do you
is
say,
there a
ma'am? You
role
can
for?
answer the question, madam. Please answer
I
the
don't
question.
think there is a preventive role, no, for MHT.
No,
If
but
there
this
are
is
no
not
symptoms,
preventive. Here, if
there
there
is no
are mood
preventive at
symptoms,
all. If there are symptoms, yes, because we don't know the really long-term effects, even though it is definitely has got a very good, that profile of improving even the malignancies and also the risk of breast cancer, everything is less. I think that even now we cannot say that we should give as a prevention.
I think we have very little time. So we'll go forward with this.
Okay,
So for
The
this
we'll
answer
lady,
to the
just
question,
observation.
the
so
answer
go
to
for the
that
next
question
case, ma'am.
is, yeah.
And start
67-year-old.
therapy.
Yes, this is third case. 67-year-old menopausal woman presents for the evaluation of hot flashes, vaginal dryness, causing dyspnea and decreased libido. She was previously on estrogen progesterone therapy, consisting of daily CE, CEE, and medroxyprogesterone MPA for 15 years, starting at the time of natural menopause. She wants to know the risk of developing cancer while on HRT. Question number 1: what are your thoughts? She complains of recurrent urinary infection, postmenopausal since 12 years, having gained 5 kg in the last 6 months, complaints of lethargy and fatigue all the time. She's a known case of hypothyroid and she is on thyroxine 75 mg, and her latest TSH is 7 milli-international unit per ml.
So
Yeah, quickly.
she was previously long term on oral hormone replacement
CEE and MPA, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So
For
starting
15
her
years,
back
she was
at
on the
this,
combined.
starting her back on oral therapy at this age is not going to be my first thing. For recurrent UTI, we can use vaginal estrogen, we can use probiotics, vaginal are available, oral are available, and treat that. That is not the real problem. I mean, that will give her quite a good relief. But starting her on oral
We'll go forward
therapy is very difficult.
with local only then.
Yeah,
Let us
yeah.
discuss the local therapy for her.
Yeah.
Yes,
Local,
of course, we'll not give her oral.
so Evelon is cream is available, Primarin cream is available. Usually, depending upon how much the mucosal atrophy is, we can use it daily, we can use it on alternate days, and we need to tell them to continue at least twice a week because otherwise it will again undergo atrophy. So consistent use will maintain because every time the mucosal atrophy occurs, it will not go back to that original level. So we are able to halt and slow the progress of it. So
The
consistent
thyroid
use
has
is
to be
important.
addressed. Thyroid has to be strongly addressed because otherwise unaddressed hypothyroidism will cause osteoporosis, add to the osteoporosis. Yes.
But madam, at 67, what happens is if we give, the endocrinologists feel there is an increased incidence of atrial fibrillation. So that balancing is a little difficult. So we need to slowly
We need to
titrate that.
refer them. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we need to refer them to the endocrine for better management. One message I wanted to give here, Padmaja, is I think treating the vaginal symptoms is very, very important.
Yes,
it's very, very
absolutely.
important because I think that is a progressive part. Because vasomotor symptoms will be with us for a short duration of time, maybe few years. If we are very lucky, 1 or 2 years. If we are unlucky, maybe 4 or 5 years. But GOSM can be with us till the last day of our life because it is a progressive thing. It is a progressive thing. So early treatment can kind of reduce the progression to atrophy. It may not completely, avoid it, but it will reduce. So there is a role for moisturizer, there's a role for lubricant, etc. But a strong role for local estrogen therapy. And the acronym LET, local estrogen therapy, has come to be kind of accepted now by practitioners as grade A recommendation. So LET therapy, as everyone is recommending, estradiol, if available, is the best cream, or estriol. Even CE is also available in the market. Vaginal tablets also can be used if available, and they can be tapered to bi-weekly, and then we can use it for up to 1 year. Progesterone is not required. Systemic therapy may not be used if there is no systemic symptoms. There is another product which is DHEA, which is specific for the management of dyspareunia, and that also has showed its safety profile. Anyone wants to comment on DHE and ospemifene, which is the third generation's?
Ma'am, one second, ma'am. There are questions in the chat box. Anyone can answer. Any of the experts can answer those questions.
One thing, Sanjana, let me just complete, panelists, please, that lifestyle modification, local pelvic floor exercises should be robustly advocated for, especially if there is urinary incontinence with a grade B recommendation, in addition to this therapy. Yeah, please, now It's open to
So
panelists. Please.
ospemifene, as far as it is concerned, is said to be the non-hormonal management because it is a SERM. So it is useful as far as vaginal this thing is concerned with least side effects. But the case that we are considering is already having hot flashes. So if in this case we use ospemifene, her hot flashes would be aggravated with ospemifene. So in this case, it is better to use DHEA than to use ospemifene oral or local vaginal estrogen. The other alternative, though it is not available in our country, is vasodoxifene with CEE, which
Yeah,
will
it is
be able
not
to take
available.
care.
Yeah.
Yes, not
Correct.
available.
Not
But
available.
had it been available, we could have been a
That
good
could have been,
alternative.
yeah. Correct, correct.
Yes.
So now in this woman of 67-year-old, in case of VMS, very low dose patches like 25 microgram patches can be considered with dydrogesterone for protection, and atherosclerotic cardiovascular risk should be assessed, and we can offer non-hormonal with
Yes.
venlafaxine. That is good. I think everybody agrees that we can
Yeah,
start
non-hormonal is
37.5.
with local only is better for her. She's
Correct,
67, 65 or something.
yeah. Yes,
So a
madam. Yes, ma'am.
non-hormonal will be much better for her.
It will give her good relief, I think. Yeah, it will
I
give.
think that neurokinin, the new drugs have come now.
The new drugs have also come. I
Yes.
think that has gone off
So
into another slide. We don't.
Yes.
One
So
one
Shubhadi, the
common
important
thing.
message from your last case was
Mm,
that though we have the dictum of 10 years of menopause and 60 years of age, you have crossed both the things, but still we can give in certain specific situations where the life is very cumbersome with those symptoms. With the low dose, it can
The
be
lower
added
dose,
upon,
yes.
but
Yes.
low dose can
Low
be added
dose.
upon, but the last line which you have put on, that the shared decision of
Yes.
making them know that the safety is established for 10 years and 60 years. This thing, after that, depending on your symptom, the safety can vary, and you can use with the low dose.
After
This thing
60
should be
years,
put on
vaginal
the paper.
estrogen.
Here,
Vaginal
one
estrogen,
thing.
2-year safety data. That's all. Yeah, tell me.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but the guidelines now say that maybe data don't say,
Longer
but this
time.
you can
Longer
use it
time.
for a longer period of time.
Longer period
We
of
And
can
in
time.
this
use it.
case also, suppose the patient doesn't give a break in between. After 60 years also, say for 50 to 60, she is continuing and there is no break. Then the dictum doesn't follow that at least for 10 years after menopause. So that also has to be kept in mind. And suppose we continue. Anyhow, whenever we are continuing, every year we have to reassess the patient that some new contraindications have not built up in this
We have to
patient.
have a.
Yes,
So
and
our time
especially
actually is
cardiovascular
up.
disease.
Yes,
And
we have
putting
to
on
keep.
paper is important. This to put on your
Yes.
prescription is important.
So it's very obvious that this platform will not, will be able to cover the whole subject.
Yeah, correct.
So we shall end. We shall end now with this one question: does MHT cause breast cancer? How to assure our women, and how to tell the audience today that to be kind of bold and not be worried about breast cancer when we are prescribing MHT. Yes.
So when the WHO study was done, madam, they analyzed the data very beautifully. There will be breast cancer occurs in women even who are not on hormones.
Yes.
So it's not that only women on hormone replacement therapy get breast cancer. For 10 years of use, additional 8 people will get breast cancer. That is the reason why they should be on annual checkup and follow-up.
Yes.
If the mutation is there, if the chance of tendency is there, the estrogen is the second hit which will cause it to occur earlier. But they're usually hormone responsive and their treatment prognosis is very good.
But that is not going to,
WHI,
that is
no?
not going
WHI,
to
it is the progestin.
appease. So
Progestin which
WHI
caused
clearly
the
said that it was the progestin, and therefore today we don't use the medroxyprogesterone acetate, which was used in WHI. So there, the risk is depending on the specific progesterone used is what WHI said. Okay, then in 2016, the risk is lower with micronized progesterone or dydrogesterone. So anyway, we are going to have a risk evaluation before MHT prescription. And if we feel that the risk is higher side, then go for the non-hormonal. I like to put this slide, Padmaja, and I would
Yes,
like
yes.
to share this with everybody. And I'm sure many of you use it in your presentation. This is a British Menopause Society presentation 2016. I find it very useful for counseling women also. The difference in breast cancer incidence per 1,000 women, 50 to 59 years. And this is the age group which becomes very important for us. This is when they are likely to come to us. So if you have 23 cases of breast cancer diagnosed in the UK amongst 1,000 women, if you look at them, combined MHT, if they are taking, then 4 more cases is what they have seen. If they have taken estrogen only MHT, then 4 fewer cases is what they have seen. If they are obese, can you see how many more cases? 24 more cases. So obesity is a harbinger of breast cancer. If alcohol, 5 more cases. Combined contraceptives, 4 more cases. Smokers, currently 3 more cases. And then the best part, if 2.5 hours of moderate exercise per week, 7 fewer cases. So this is how the risk of breast cancer can be understood. This is only to understand that the more active a woman is, right, the better habits and better weight she maintains, then actually her baseline risk of breast cancer becomes very less. And in such women, starting the right hormones for menopause hormone therapy is definitely not going to cause breast cancer. It may, in fact, be allow us to diagnose early, and it may not result in higher risk at all. Well, I think today's presentation remains concluded here because I feel
One in the
we
chat
should
box.
not exceed. Yeah, I will just stop sharing and we can take. I'll just put my concluding slide, Uma Madam, because I really like to conclude. It is effective, safe, and underused. And patient selection is more important. The timing, route, and dose with safety, we must decide, we must individualize, we must involve other disciplines whenever it is needed. It is not about hormones alone, it is about informed individualized care for midlife women. And I think the President, Dr. Rajeshri, will agree that this is the message that she wanted to give, that menopause care is not only about MHT, but it is about informed individualized care. These are the benefits and the risks we have gone through all this. That is the traffic signal one. This is the message for the low dose therapy. So the MHT Express is already there and it is about to leave the station, and you're not supposed to miss the MHT Express. So we must start prescribing. For a young woman is a gift of nature, but an old woman is a work of art. So true about Hema Malini. So I will just stop here. Yeah.
I
So
think there are
thank you. Thank you.
two
Thank you.
questions, no, in the
Yeah,
chat box.
please. Yeah. Yeah.
What
Meera
is the
Vidyasagar, can MHT be given if the mammo report is Birad's 3? Patient is hypothyroid. So Birad's 3 essentially means not, it means a follow-up case. Just yesterday I had a Birad's 3 and it is suggesting a benign thing and it is a follow-up thing. So I think that we can prescribe for Birad's 3. Patient is hypothyroid, hypertensive with dyslipidemia, the transdermal estrogen. But only if she is really symptomatic and deserving the MHT. Nagratnama has asked, vaginal pruritus is not responding to estrogen local cream. Yeah. Yes, Nagratnama. There are a lot of other vulval disorders, and we must be ready to explore all those diagnoses. Okay, Anil Kaur, madam, estrogen supplementation addictive and difficult to wean. I don't think the panelists will agree that it is difficult to wean. Anybody?
No, sometimes patients get addicted, and
Not
then we
like
have
that,
to
madam.
convince them.
No,
Yes.
it is
Madam,
working
is it really
beautifully for them.
Because they are
So
feeling better.
they,
It's not addiction. They feel better and they're scared. Not addiction. Addiction is not the correct word. But they are very comfortable and they keep on asking, shall we continue?
Maybe
Shall we
dependent
continue?
is the word. Yeah, dependent is the
Dependence.
word. Yeah.
So we'll have to tell them switch over to some lubricants, not for long term. Even vaginal estrogens, not for long term in that age group.
I think
65 and
Usha
70.
Vikrant is asking hypertension with normal lipid profile. Of course, you can give transdermal. You can give transdermal. And Hemavati is complimented. Then
Then Dr. Rohini has asked one question. 48-year-old with early menopause. At 44 years, she has no symptoms. Should MHT be given?
It's a
Menopause at
48-year-old is not
no
early
symptoms.
menopause. Acha, she
No,
had
no,
at
at
44
44
years.
she had
Okay.
menopause. Now
Acha,
4
acha.
years she has managed and no symptoms. Should we give MHT?
Asymptomatic women, no.
No.
I don't know. The panel
So-
has to tell now.
Yeah, I feel that
Symptomatic
menopause is a
women,
natural
maybe
event.
robust lifestyle, and maybe
Yes.
everything that Sudha said should be followed.
Yes.
Madam
Not
Sudha.
say,
keeping out anything.
Yes,
can I
madam.
add
Tide
some?
over
Yes.
menopause without anything,
Yes,
without
Dr.
MHT,
Shobha?
no symptoms.
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. So the topic under discussion is about early menopause. See, lot has been done about POI, about post-menopause and menopausal women. So this was the gray area, early menopause between 40 and 45. So if you refer to that paper of International Menopause Society white paper, which was released on 18th October 2024, that clearly says that this group should be considered now, and this group should be given menopausal hormonal therapy as we are giving to POI. I think Dr. Shobha, you can refer to that paper.
Okay, sure.
No,
That's a very good thing. Very good input.
No, in
Yes.
that paper, they are telling should menopause be medicalized? That also they are asking in that white paper. Who should take MHT? Should we medicalize? Can we not tide
Her
over?
question was, Dr. Sudha, her
Yeah,
question
44.
was in asymptomatic
prevention.
women, and she is already 48 now. She was 44.
No.
at
She
menopause.
is not
She's
48.
No, that
She
was
is early menopause.
48 now, menopause at 44.
48 now. No.
Yes.
48 now.
Yes.
No. It has to be between 40 and 45.
Yes.
It has
So
to
we
be
can
between 40
consider
and
it
45.
as correct. We
Not
can consider it
48.
as
48 asymptomatic, not.
not.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what.
That's what we try to tell.
Yes.
That 48 no symptoms, then we have to think whether
No
to give
need
or
to
not.
give.
But 44, if it is the dictum is that they should be like POI, then of course there is a role because they have been deprived earlier in life, so there is a role. So timing is very important. So MHT is really time sensitive, and that was a clever question asked. Thank you for that. Yes.
That's a very good question.
And that was a very clear, one slide you have shown it, Dr. Shobha, very clear about the time management. At 60, you have written down that benefit and risk to be, seen. So in that white paper, International Menopause Society says that don't abruptly stop at 60. Don't initiate at 60, but don't abruptly stop at 60. So,
and they say
at
that
60
taper it.
also, yes,
If you're
you
giving
have
daily, make it 3 weeks.
Yeah, if she's continuing and just because you do not want to give at 60, just don't stop it. See the benefit and weigh the risk and
I'm
all
so
other.
tempted to quote Dr. Behram Anklesari. I don't know. He always comes in front of my eyes. Whenever stopping MHT comes, he comes in front. He always used to say, you will walk up and down the stage, and he will say, if she is doing well on MHT, why do you want to stop? So if she is doing well, see her every month if you want. Every month if you want, but don't stop if she is doing well because don't take away that joy from her life. So that is what he used to say. Any which way, I would recommend that menopause practitioners become avid readers and avid followers of all the evidence which is coming up, because this is a little dynamic field of practice. And just like Neeta said, a lot of guidelines have changed, and today somebody said that it is not for prevention, but then today we think that there is a possibility that this can be used for prevention of osteoporosis, for prevention of cardiovascular disease with good evidence. So please be reading all the time. And as you can see, sometimes questions pertaining to MHT have two correct answers, not one. So like that, it can become a little challenging to understand. Thank you so much for your time. And I must
Very well
thank
said.
I must thank Dr. Rajashri Palladi for giving me the opportunity to moderate, and Sanjana for being so supportive. And I thank the panelists, Uma Madam, Jyoti, Shubha, And of course, dear Archana, and of course, my favorite Padmaja. Padmaja has supported me in the prescription workshop like anything. My goodness, she was like a pillar of support for me last year. And of course, I'm very grateful to Sudha for having come. I've left out one panelist, I think. किसको छोड़ दिया? उमा मैडम को बोला मैंने बोल दिया. I am very grateful to you, Sudha. ज्योति
Thank
को बोला
you.
ना, ज्योति को तो
Thank
पहले
you,
बोला.
Dr. Shobana. Thank
If I
you,
must
Dr.
say, yes, if I must say here, thank you, Sudha and Shobha. We started and we hit a mark of about 100 people who were there. And although the number dwindled, but it persisted at plus 60. There were 65 viewers till the end, which only goes to show that much more is needed to understand about the hormonal replacement therapy and to deal with age of life, because most of us are still in that arbitrary understanding of the prescriptions. And since the guidelines keep changing once in a while, it becomes imperative and mandatory that we keep our guidelines updated and try to understand what is the gray area in which we are dealing with, and also to deal with the issues. And everything said and done, I think it's the healthy lifestyle, the positive set of mind, and doing the age-old traditional practices and simple conversation and gossip, which the woman earlier used to have, that, in Kannada, we called it as a katte panchayati, just go and sit across on a compound wall and discuss with each other about what is happening around, kept them so healthy and happy, and helped to enhance their life, and to understand better about themselves and share the combined problems and associations that helps to go the woman in a long way, in a healthy way, in a happy way, which they all have deserved, worked well for, and value their life and celebrate their life at this point in time. Thank you so very much for your patient time, and for giving us such valuable inputs, and Dr. Shobha for flagging it off, and who else other than Shobha to take ASMI forward in KSOGA, and none other than Dr. Sudha, the IMS head, to be here to deal with us and to exchange the knowledge, and so much of sharing of concerns over each other, that this has been truly effective, very, very successful webinar, I must say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajeshri. A huge congratulations to you. And I really wish that each and every program of you becomes a super duper hit like this. Very engaging, very, interesting. And thank you, Dr. Shobha Gudi, for, always creating such important programs and for inviting me over in this Karnataka group, which I find is very, very vibrant and, headed by none other than Dr. Rajshri. So all the best wishes to you for your further programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
any formal vote of thanks, Rajeshri? Yeah?
I think we have thanked each other, and you can
We
just
have thanked.
conclude by saying a remark about all of us.
I'm really grateful to all the audience who joined in today, absolutely in time, and I'm happy I'm really grateful to Epsiba and to Shubha for chairing the session, and panelists I have already thanked. I think today was an eye opener, because sometimes we feel that as we conduct these programs, it is a learning for us also. There's so many things that we learn from each other. I would encourage more experience sharing as days goes by of how we prescribe and how our patients do, because hormones is less about our prescription than about how women kind of do perform with that prescription. I mean, how do they feel about it? So if there is more robust experience sharing, it becomes a better platform. So with that, I think it is time to sign off. So Sanjana, you are also ready? Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, video on
Madam,
my
kindly share the link of Well Woman programs, madam.
sir.
Yeah, we will share it.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Thank you,
Yeah,
madam.
every Sunday, I mean, every Saturday it comes, so we'll put it in the groups. KSOGA group, I'll put it.
Yes, please. Yes, Dr. Shubha.
It is there in the BMS group always.
अगर सब लोग
Just about to
वीडियो
post
ऑन
it, I
करेंगे
think
तो
in 10 minutes.
we'll take a very lovely picture if everybody puts on. I'm increasing the brightness.
We are putting, and as we are wishing for the brilliant programs of KSOGA and best wishes for them, I also invite you all to join the every Tuesday 4 to 6 webinar of presidential webinars of Indian Menopause Society, and every Sunday morning 7:45 to 9 a.m. For the fitness weekends. So our invitation to all of you to join them.
Thank you,
Thank you
Jyoti.
so much.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
do that. We'll do. Archana, आपका वीडियो ऑन नहीं है.
Ma'am, I'm not able to do that. It's
Okay.
joining from the mobile. I'm driving.
Okay, no problem. Hepzibah has done. Hepzibah, thank you for being here. Yeah. So here goes the picture. Yes, thanks Shubha for that. Shubha said, thank you. Thanks everyone. That is